to this. Hey everyone, it is the first Tuesday of 2024, and I am excited for this new year. And I have two people already who are also excited about 2024. And I'm so thankful that they are joining us so far on tonight on Tuesday night training. We will keep Tuesday night training on Tuesdays for this year. And I like that dependability. How about you?
Yes.
You can schedule around
That
it.
schedule helps.
Yes, yes. Making Tuesdays training Tuesdays. I know that Madeline was on our tech call today. It was really a good one, and I did record it. I have to upload it to YouTube, but we learned a lot, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes, yes. So tell me, how did you do over the holiday? Did you take time off? Did you did you keep working, or did you tell me what your experience was?
No, I kept working. There was no time off. I worked.
Yeah, and what were you working on?
So I had parties, and then pretty much from Black Friday to Christmas Eve, I was doing vendor shows every weekend.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Were
Yeah.
they at the mall, or did you all at the mall?
Yes. All at the mall. Yep.
Wow, wow. And are
Yeah.
you continuing to do that, or is that finished?
No, I will. So it'll pick back up in February.
Really? That is really a great
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. And it's gotten to the point now where I have returning customers who will actually text me asking when the next event is so they can come and buy from me.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
excellent. Very
Yeah.
good. Yeah, that's good. Hey, Bonnie, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you today, Karen?
Good, good, good. So Madeline, how about you? Did you take the time off, or did you keep the nose to the grindstone?
I kind of wanted to keep working, but I couldn't find people to host parties. And they were like, well, I can't until the first of the year. So I was like, okay, well, I guess this is my sign to take a break and try and get some stuff organized
Great.
and did things around the house, got some stuff done.
Did you get them scheduled for after the first of the year?
I have a few that were like, well, I just don't even want to think about a date. So I have to contact them back. I was gonna do it today and I just didn't get around to it. So I have to do it either tomorrow morning or later tomorrow to get them scheduled for January.
Yep. Very good. Very good. Great. Bonnie, did you take time off over the holiday, or did you do some Pampered Chef business?
I took time off. I went to visit some dear friends in Nashville that I've not seen for 2.5 years.
Oh, good, good, good. Well, I took quite a bit of time off too. I did. I enjoyed the holiday and tried to be calm and cool and collected. I'm trying to simplify things. So, but I am when I find when I do that, I'm so anxious to get back. So that's how I feel right now. So I'm going to share my screen. I put together just some thoughts that I wanted to share with you tonight. And so with that, Tuesday night training, and I just wanted to share, this is what I talked about today on Karen's chat, that this year cannot be the year of talking, wishing, or wanting. This has to be the year you get it done. Do you feel like in 2023 that there was a bit of talking, wishing, and wanting?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think has to change to make sure that this is the year to get it done?
Putting more of my nose to the grindstone and just doing it.
Okay. All right. All right. By the way, did any of you take the Kristen Boss's 3-day workshop?
Yes.
Mm-mm.
I signed up for it, but I ended up being on the road during part of it.
Okay. Well, then you could always catch the recordings. I did
That's
for them.
what I plan.
Yeah. In fact, the grit Wednesdays I'm talking about, I'm traveling tomorrow, so I can't do it, but I'm going to start next week, and I'm going to start with I'll share the first I'll share those workshops for the next 3 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we can And even if people saw it, I think it's really a great, you know, that's always,
A lot of a
Yeah.
lot of information.
uh,
It was a lot of information.
it was. Did you feel it was overwhelming, Madeline?
I was very overwhelmed.
Okay.
Me and TJ did it together, and every day after it, I was like, oh, like I just felt like mush after all of this information.
And I know how you like to take notes too, so.
Yes, I had tons and tons of notes, but it was so overwhelming with a lot of good
Oh,
information.
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Just one, it's how you eat an elephant, right? You know how to eat an elephant, one bite at a time.
Yes.
All you can do. That's all you can do. Well, I just want you to know, and I want you to think about this, that reading 20 pages per day is 30 books per year. Saving $10 a day is $3,650 a year. Running 1 mile per day is 365 miles per year. Listening to a 1-hour podcast per day will give you 365 more hours of knowledge per year. Don't underestimate the power of small habits. I thought that was very profound. And again, it's just, one bite at a time. That's how you eat an elephant. Anything resonate with you? Is that new to any of you? Any of that information?
I'm taking it as if I wake up 1 hour earlier, that's 365 more hours I have in the day. I'm a sleeper inner.
It's a great thought. I just hope you're not only sleeping 3 hours a night, but
No. But if I wake up 1 hour earlier, that's that much more stuff I can get done.
Yeah, yeah. And again, I think sometimes it's easy to get up, but when you make that effort, it's easy to focus. And then because sometimes it's hard when your day gets the best of you to get focused, especially when you have a little one around.
Yes.
But really, especially listening to the 1-hour podcast every day will give you 365 more hours of knowledge per year. And I think about, and I don't remember where I heard this first, that, turning your car into a university, when I used to do parties, and I try to remember this, when I'm going somewhere, I try to be prepared. I try to make that learning. And on the way back, I listen to my country music. So it's like I reward myself. I use a lot of the time in the car. Like we're getting ready to read. And by the way, tomorrow is our book club starts at 2:30. And we're reading Success is a Choice by John Maxwell. And I don't have my book yet. But since I am traveling tomorrow, what I'm going to do is download the audio version and I'll listen to it, and then I'll be able to get on the call and do the book club. The book club, you guys, is so wonderful. And of course, anything by John Maxwell is wonderful. Anybody else a John Maxwell fan? Just me? Okay. Have you read much of his stuff?
I've heard of him. Like I know who he is.
Oh,
but I probably have read some of his stuff. I just don't remember.
Oh my gosh. Develop the leader inside you, develop the leaders around you. He must have 50 books. They're all fabulous.
Yeah.
So, all right,
I'm going to off for a minute because somehow I've lost picture.
Okay.
I don't know how to get it back. Oh, wait a minute. Let me try that. Okay. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just want you to think for a second, how do you talk to yourself? Are the words you choose like I choose to, I choose not to, I can, which means certainly am now, and I can't means I certainly am not trying. And I've taken a lot of training from Eileen Meckley, and I remember, and I've known her 28 years. I remember the first time I heard her say that CAN't is an acronym for I certainly am not trying. And that hurt a little bit. But I think it's food for thought when you tell yourself I can't. And so I think it's really important maybe to really kind of think about that. Think about doesn't it change things? If, I mean, between saying I choose to or I can? Because really everything is a choice, isn't it? What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a great way of putting it. I've never heard of it as the acronym. And I do my best to not say I can't and to always switch it around to I can, I choose to, I will, doing more of the positive wording to help with my motivation to keep me going, to keep me doing things.
Yeah, it's really, I think it's important to think about. I was on a call today, and the gentleman was talking about goals, and he's like, I really don't do goals, I do promises. And I thought that that was interesting. But he also said that when he, like, I'm trying to think what he talks in the present. It's like, I am a good recruiter. Not I will be or I want to be. And I mean, it's like, okay, come June 1, I am a good recruiter. And so I think that, again, it's that positive. It's amazing what a difference words can make. And really, and there are times, I mean, I personally don't take everything seriously. I mean, somebody, I think you have to have a little bit of a sense of humor, but when I'm serious and I'm talking to myself, I strive to be present, and I strive to be positive. But like, for instance, you also will hear me sometimes when you say the word if, I encourage you to change it to when it's appropriate, because I think that that speaks into, I mean, really, it's not like if you have a $500 show, you're going to get this. No, when you have a $500 show, you will get that, So
Yeah,
I think it is really important for you to think about how you talk to yourself.
absolutely.
Yeah, so this was really helpful too. And I'm going to talk about the little pink thing first, because I want to remind you, you can do what you allow yourself to believe you can do. The belief in yourself grows stronger and stronger with every action you take for the success you are seeking. The doubt comes from the lack of activity. There are no limits on success. And I thought that was really good. The doubt comes from the lack of activity. Don't you? And when you really think about that, if you doubt yourself, it's because you haven't taken action. And sometimes I think it's the guilt that we allow to have happen around that action. You will be excited to achieve and work towards your transformational goals when you feel you deserve your success. And I really like the acronym that they came up with for dreams. I mean, for deserve. Do you feel like you deserve your dreams?
Absolutely.
And how how do you dream? How do you dream about what you want to have happen in your life or in your business?
Is anybody else singing the song in their head? The I Dream in Color? No, just me.
No, that's good.
There's a country song that talks about that. I Dream in Color.
Wow, I'm a country girl and I can't think of that song, but I'm sure I've heard it. Do you know who sings it? I can Google it.
I'm gonna look it up because if I don't, it'll bother me.
Okay, okay. But I mean, really, I mean, for me and my faith, dreams come to me, and sometimes then God whispers. I mean, I really feel like if something is put on my heart, and that's kind of a dream. If something's put on my heart and I want to achieve it, to me that becomes a
I
dream.
can't hear you.
You can't hear me. So and again, I think that sometimes dreams don't come to you unless you are quiet enough you know, if your mind is cluttered and you're busy all the time, um, you don't have time. I mean, it doesn't, you don't, those things don't come to you. Does anyone agree with me? Do you understand what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It does. A lot of it comes just in those quiet moments when your mind is free from whatever you've got, that you've got to work on. And you've just got those quiet moments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let it come to you. And then how about experiences? You know, the experience of achieving goals, setting out to do a booth like you do, Meg, and having it be
Mhm.
a positive experience. And then what do you do when it's a negative experience?
I try my best to not let it be a negative experience and take the positive out of it. Yes, it was a slow day, but you still got your connections, you still got contacts, and looking at what I was still able to achieve that day, even though it wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be.
Mhm. And you just
Trying to
know,
make everything worth it.
I'm sorry.
Trying to make it all worth it. Like
Mhm.
it was worth your time finding
Absolutely.
some way to make the experience positive.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, when you really think about it, and I didn't learn this till later, I think I was too busy building a business to really think about the relationships, and really, and I quite frankly, I don't think I gave it enough respect to take the time to build those relationships. And it's that experience of doing that that makes you realize how important that it is. So that is transformational, I think. Um,
Absolutely.
great. And then there are people who don't feel they deserve success. Has that ever been an issue for you, for any of you?
No, I've always worked hard.
Yeah,
So I know that I deserve my success.
yeah, very good, very good. Um, again, this comes down to my faith.
Mhm.
We are meant for greatness. We are meant to be able to achieve things. We are given God-given talents, you know, and and I posted something about that on Facebook over the holidays that our job is to use those talents to the best of our ability. And I think it's important for us to evaluate that on a day-to-day basis. Again, when we go to bed at night, if we think about, who, if we were working for someone else, would we hire that person to come to work the next day? You know, and you need to decide as an entrepreneur what those daily tasks are. And so, and I think that, are you going to live that, or are you going to give yourself a bye, um, and then energy, it takes energy, especially if you've had a, a kind of a negative experience, and it's hard to sometimes get the energy to take more action. And I know that Kristen Boss talked about a bit over the weekend about, um, success is in the times when you don't feel like doing it. That's when you really make progress. When you don't have the energy or you don't feel like it, you're getting caught up in the emotions, you know. And there are times, and when I first started with Pampered Chef, I remember that sometimes I was very emotional. Somebody would say something to hurt my feelings. Somebody would make me mad, and maybe I'd be close to tears, and I'm like, stop. Is this business or is this emotion? Am I going to I'm going to let this emotion rob me of, the business side of it. So it's that energy, I think, that's really, really important. And it will happen, I mean, that we will all, as time goes on, experience, because again, we're working with people and sometimes that's kind of hard, and we're going to come back to talk a little bit more about that. Rewards, the rewards are so bountiful. And while many of the rewards we start, again, it might be money, it might be something that money will buy. It might be, again, those are tangible things. It might be for a new car, or new carpet, or new furniture, or new house. But there are a lot of rewards that are not tangible. And I would love to hear what you feel that some of the rewards that you've experienced are with your business.
For me, it's having those really good months where my paycheck is a lot and I'm able to apply my whole paycheck onto a home equity loan that we're trying to pay down. So being able to not have to touch our joint account and to be able to use my own money that I busted my butt for to put a large chunk off of that loan. It's huge. It's a great reward.
That's awesome. And while again, that is money and it's tangible, it's the feeling of accomplishment. And I'm sure Mike is pretty proud of you for that.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And really, what's more important than that?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Madeline, can you think of anything?
For me, it's the friendships. So that's why I joined the money's good. The money's nice, but I needed people to talk to after having a baby and him growing and then not really having a community to talk with. So I have that now. So that to me, like, you could pay me $1 million and it wouldn't be worth the friendships that I got out of this in just the short period of time that I've been in it. Like, I've made friends that I'll have for the rest of my life. And that's what's important to me.
Awesome. That's awesome. And I think what's really important, Bonnie, are you still on?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Tell me, what rewards do you have with your Pampered Chef business that are important to you?
Well, like everyone, it's been mentioned, the income helps, but the friendships are very important. And for me, one thing that is extra important to me is I want to succeed because of Don. He supported me all these years, and he's always said, honey, if you put into the work with your Pampered Chef that you put into a couple other things that I've done, you wouldn't need other things. You would be doing just fine and great. And I know it sounds silly to say this, but I want to succeed to prove that he was right and that his confidence in me was well placed.
Well, I think that's a beautiful reason. I can't think of really a better reason, to, and while you were talking, Bonnie, you remind me that, I remember when I quit my full-time job, and I know, Meg, you can identify with this too, and you know what I'm going to say, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not as willing to work as hard for yourself as you are someone else, your priorities are just out of whack. I don't have any other way to put it.
Yep.
So you can develop leadership skills, and and we're going to work on that this year. And the leadership skills are something that benefit you, and it's going to help you grow your team. And I mean, no matter where you go, those leadership skills are going to benefit you. I mean, you can work for somebody else and grow the leadership skills, but you're building their dream. It's a lot different when you're building your dream. And I think, again, putting that in perspective, I think gives you like, oh, yeah, got to keep going. Value. I think we all want to provide value. And I think, it's not, we don't just sell kitchen utensils, right? And when we can make the shift that we just don't sell kitchen utensils, what do we sell? We're selling the relationships. We're selling
Yeah.
we're selling ourselves. I know a lot of people want to, and I love what Kristen Boss talks about this. My dad was a traveling salesman, and I'm a daddy's girl. I would do anything for my dad. But I thought what he did for a living was one level above plant life. I thought he worked really hard, and I knew he loved us. And he'd be gone away a month at a time. But you think of a salesman and a traveling salesman, but I mean, he provided his value, and here I am, hoping to provide value. I'm hoping to provide value for my customers. I'm hoping to provide value for you guys. To me, our team, our team, the people on our team are also customers. I want to make your job easier if I can. And, I mean, I know from personal experience that I know people can help me, and give me information, but if I don't use it, if I choose to do it the hard way, which I have to tell you, I do that a lot. But if there's something that I can do to make you, there's no reason for you to reinvent the wheel if you don't have to. So, providing value is really, really important. And of course, providing value for yourself. The value in the relationships, value, of course, in how you're being paid, how you're being, reimbursed for the time that you're investing. And this just popped into my head too when I remember learning early in my business, like, you go through times sometimes when you think about, is it worth it? And I think you do that with anything in life. If it's something you're struggling with, you think, well, is it worth it? And then you get to the point where, yeah, this is worth it. And then you're going to get to the point where it's like, am I worth this much? And you'll get there. You will get there. And then, of course, enjoyment. It's so funny that, there are people who are really jealous over our jobs. Have you noticed that at all? Do you know of anyone who may be just a little bit jealous of what you do with Pampered Chef?
Mm-hmm.
Why would people be jealous?
Because they see us doing something that we have such a passion for.
Yeah. And it seems like maybe partying really isn't work.
Right.
They don't see the grit and the grime that goes on behind the scenes sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, we often don't see, I mean, I use Marna a lot as an example. You see Marna's success and you don't know, I mean, I know how hard she's worked, but some people think, well, she's, it's easy for her. Well, no, I mean, don't judge my life by the chapter you walked in on, and so, but it's because we enjoy our jobs. Hi, Kathy, glad you could make it tonight.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah. So there are people, it's amazing to me how often fear and jealousy play a part in how people view what we do. And, and there are some people who don't understand. I mean, there are a lot of people out there who hate their jobs, right? They go to work every day and they're not happy with their job. And we enjoy our job. We have fun with our job. And some people have a hard time. But it's important, I think, to enjoy what you do. And it's okay to enjoy what you do. And it's okay to enjoy what you do and have it make money. Because there are people out there who feel guilty when, if they're making money. And so with that, I like this acronym about deserving. What do you, anything you would add to that? Okay.
I think you covered it all there, Karen.
Well, good. I think that's good. And I like, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I think another idea for the S is satisfaction. Satisfaction that we're helping others and that we're accomplishing a goal.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, we are. And I think it's important, to really think about, how we are, how do we really need to evaluate how we are achieving our goals. Choosing to do what you know you need to do for success leads to happiness. Thinking about it leads to distress, as kind of we were talking about a little bit earlier. I really do think that a lot of people's dissatisfaction is the guilt about not doing what they think they need to be doing. And I'm going to tell you, from my perspective, I never feel like I do enough. Never feel like I do enough. I always feel like there's something else I could have done or something else I could have done better. And that is not good either. There are times when you have to just step back and say, hey, I'm proud of myself. I've made progress. Everybody else seemed to be happy, So, so I think that, and so, I mean, for me, guilt is a destructive emotion that truly does not play a big part in my life. So, anyway, any other thoughts about that? Any thoughts on that, Kathy?
No, ma'am, you did good. Sorry I'm so late.
Oh, no, I'm glad you're here. All right, I really like this too, as we were talking earlier about, saying I choose to or saying I choose not to versus I can't. Hesitation and procrastination is a disguise for an I can't. Isn't that huge? Hesitation and procrastination is a guise for I can't. And I really want you to think about, as you think about your goals for this year, and you think about, maybe moving up levels, how are you hesitating? Are you giving yourself till December to be a director? Or are you going to say, I could do that in a month if I choose to? And, that's just a good, a generalization about how you can think about how you want your goals. Are you hesitating? Are you procrastinating? Or are you saying, I'm choosing to do it? Determination and success is an I can that keeps you from being excuse ridden, and instead you become success driven. Any thoughts on that?
So one quote that was really big, she said it a bunch of times in the Kristen Boss thing, was the what you don't change, you choose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I keep thinking about.
Can you think of a specific in your life that?
All of them. There's a lot of things that, like, when you choose not to do things, you're never going to change. If you don't actually ask people to become a consultant, you're never going to be a director because you're never going to have people under you. So you're never going to have a team.
Right.
You have to do the hard things.
So what are you going to do about that, Madeline?
I've gotten better about asking people if they want to become a consultant, talking to people about it, being less like timid and shy about it. I don't know why I am.
Have we talked about being timid and shy?
I'm proud of it. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, okay, so timid and shy often, is accompanied by feeling pushy.
Yeah.
And what do you think about people who are annoying or can't hear no, or they're pushy?
You want to hang up on them.
Yeah.
Not wrong. But they're driven.
They're driven. So on one hand, on one end of the spectrum, we have driven or pushy, or there's a word I can't think of the word I'm looking for. And on the other end is the timid. People who are afraid, and sometimes it's because you don't know what to say, but that's something you can learn. But in the meantime, neither one of them is good for your business.
No.
So the key is to find that middle ground. And sometimes how a pendulum swings. If you're timid, sometimes you're going to swing over to feeling like you're being a little pushy. but you're probably not pushy because people who think they are people who are pushy don't think they're pushy, right? If you think you're being pushy, you're not, you're not there. You wouldn't, you wouldn't go there. So sometimes you have to you have to ask where it hurts a little bit. Use that chicken list. Who have you not asked? And that's going to help you break that pendulum, because you want to come to the middle. You want to come, there are times you're going to want to push it up a notch, because you're not going to make progress if you don't go over that, if you don't, reach out of that comfort zone of the middle part. I hope that makes sense.
What
Sometimes
helps me is more of the thought process of I'm not pushy, I'm passionate. I love what I do, and I want everybody else to experience it also. So really just trying to let it out of how much I love what I do, why I love what I do, and you can be a part of it too, So maybe try looking at it as like less pushy and more passionate. Just be passionate about it
I
because
love
you
that.
love it, so share it.
I love that. And
I like
and why would you not want to help people?
Hmm.
And again, I don't mean to step on anybody's toes, but I really want you to consider, if you're not asking, is that selfish? Because it's not about you, it's about them and how you can help them. Everything in this business is not about you. And when you remove yourself from the equation, whether Meg, whether Meg decides she wants to be a director or not, that's her decision. It has nothing to do with my business. In my business, it might hinder, or it's going to have an impact on maybe how I train her or how I make myself available to her, because there's no reason, if someone isn't wanting to grow, there's no reason to put your energy there. You want to, as your team grows, you're only going to have time, for so much energy. And that's how, but what Meg wants, my job is to help Meg and all of you get what you want, not what I want you to want. And so removing, and it's the same way when you're recruiting people or when you're helping people, you're helping them out of the goodness of your heart. You're helping them because you feel that Pampered Chef has a lot to offer someone who needs help in the kitchen, or to get dinner on the table, or to make family time more valuable. Again, we don't just sell kitchen utensils. We're helping family meal times become a memory. And I just, when you see that over the holidays, and you look on Facebook and you see people, sharing the recipes they did with their kids, remember, those are people who would love Pampered Chef. Am I the only one that sits there and looks at all of those kitchen chats and looking for Pampered Chef items?
No, I
I
look for
had
them too.
never done that before, but this is my first Christmas actually selling Pampered Chef.
Yeah.
And like if you watch some TV shows, even sometimes you can see it and you're like, oh, that.
And the thing about it is that, and the shows, it's hard to do anything about it with, but other than saying, hey, I saw Guy Fieri and I did see him use a Pampered Chef product. That's the kind of stuff you can use. But what happens is, if you see, Sally using, fighting with garlic or something, and now you can put that in the back of your mind, and you can think of a way to approach her private message. Are you familiar with Pampered Chef? I saw your wonderful demonstration. I saw you working with your kids. I just so love to see that kind of thing happening. You're creating memories with your kids they'll never forget. And I just noticed that maybe you could use a great garlic press. You know what I'm saying? When you think about that situation, and you put, and it's not just, hey, you need a Pampered Chef, garlic press. You're making it whole. You're making it organic. You're not just selling them. You're offering them the opportunity to, complimenting them first, because it deserves, this day and age, people who are working with their kids in the kitchen creating memories, they deserve to have a pat on the back. So it's those kinds of situations, you know, I think Facebook can be a black hole of time, but I also think that if you're observant, it also can create an opportunity. As long as you're not neglecting, you're putting your shows on the calendar, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, determination and dedication is an I can that keeps you from being excuse ridden, and instead you become success driven. And then I wanted to talk a little bit, well, my word, I'll be having a retreat here, and none of the directors are on here right now. So we're going to be having a retreat here. Pampered Chef is having a leadership conference. It's virtual, and some people are coming here to my home, and we're going to experience it together. And which is really fun. So when you become a director, you know, you're going to be invited to these things too. Excuse me for a second. Anyway, we're going to be doing an evening on what our word of the year is. My word is grit. And I chose grit because it's a compilation of 4 words, which is growth, resiliency, integrity, and tenacity. And so with that, and when we talk about leadership this year, we are going to be using the grit as kind of a framework for it. And again, it's going to start with the Kristen Boss workshops. And I'll be sharing them because I just think that they're really terrific, and it gives us someplace to go. But again, earning the team leader scraper is very exciting. I hope I hope everyone on our team wants one of these. And, you know, when you have that pink scraper in your kitchen or in your kit, every time you use it, it's going to remind you of your success. And I don't know if you know, but every level with Pampered Chef has a scraper. I think you know that, the colors from conference. And so the pink is going to be the team leader. And I think that's really exciting. And what's even more exciting is that you can get a denim jacket when one of them submits $12.50 in their first 30 days. So who has a plan to get one of those jackets?
I do.
Ellen, you put that hand up enthusiastically, girlfriend.
I've been wanting a jean jacket. This just motivates me to get one for free.
And it says Pampered Chef on it.
Exactly. So now it's branded.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm all about a new piece of clothing.
Yeah. And you know, there's something that I've always wanted. You know, I have all these pins and stuff, and that I've accumulated over the year. I've always wished I had something to put them all on, so it would be like a recognition jacket. So as you grow, as your business grows, and you start gaining all of these things, you know, that might be a good reason for that jacket too. Of course, you might want to have it just for fashion too, but.
Karen's gonna show up to conference with an 80-pound sweatshirt covered in pins.
There you go. There you go.
Your weightlifting coat.
I'm sorry?
It'll be like a weight jacket with all the pins on it.
There you go. Okay. Okay. Any thoughts? Like getting ready to go to the Pampered Chef live demo tonight. Are you excited about watching that?
Oh yeah.
I really enjoy that. Is there anything you would add to our discussion? Or I would really love to hear. In fact, I'm not going to ask you to tell me when I post this recording. I would like you to go on and please tell me one thing you learned tonight, or one thing you've changed or been reminded. Hey, George.
Hi.
And
Hi.
so will you do that?
Yeah.
George, are you a good boy? Are you a good boy?
You good? You're a turtle?
He's a
Okay.
Well, that's a good
Oh, you're a turtle. There you go. Where's that? Goose. Oh, I'm no
Well,
turtle.
You all, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'll put you in the raffle, and don't forget, when you watch the Pampered Chef live, share something you learned or observed that nobody else would know unless they saw it. and I'll put you in again, okay? I've been unpacking a bunch of stuff. I got a whole bunch of these great prizes. We're gonna do a bingo night soon too,
Ooh, fun.
okay?
Sounds good.
Right. All right, guys, have a good.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen, and have a good trip.
Oh, thank you, will do.
Bye.
Bye.